Hi, my name is Josh Aaron, and I am Chief Marketing Officer here at True Loyal. And I am very thrilled to introduce my guest today, Brittany Zars. Brittany has been head of marketing and product development at HEB, and I am very thrilled. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Nice. Well, let's start with what have you been up to? Give everyone a little bit of an insight to what you were doing and what you're doing now.
Yeah. I'm currently retired. But prior to that, I was director of own brand for grocery at HEB for a while. Um, I don't know.
Oh,
How do we
a while.
how do we count years? Um, but what that means is the brand management component of the private label business, very specifically. So brand management as well as the food product development. So from bones to shelf.
Nice.
Um, I retired for some health reasons and to just spend some time with family. But now I've picked up a side hobby of TikTok. And with that, I've been making a lot of very retail and grocery specific um, videos that just kind of talk to not only my historical knowledge, the brand awareness, but also food product awareness and branding, packaging, and brand ethos and branding philosophies.
Just that.
Just,
Just that.
the things that I thrive. Yeah.
Well, what a perfect segue because obviously we're going to be talking a lot about CPG today.
Yep.
So as we kind of just ease into the
Mhm.
conversation, there's a little bit of a big question, but I'm really curious to get your perspective on, what has changed for CPG and or CPG brands over the past maybe like 5, 10 years.
I think I think COVID changed a lot for CPGs. I think where originally a brand could put a product on shelf and maybe they relied on historical data or consumer behaviors, COVID completely wiped that. And now suddenly when you have a bunch of products that are having supply issues or shortages and everything in the supply chain is disrupted, customers are now trying new things. They are less loyal to a product. And I think through that process, they actually explored and found a lot of new items that they hadn't before, which put a lot of CPGs in a scramble to try to figure out how to gain customers back in a world where, it's not easy to
Yeah.
acquire a customer.
Do you see that? So obviously, it kind of started with
Yeah.
COVID, as you saw.
Mhm.
Have you seen that continue through?
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the biggest things is if a CPG or a heritage brand, if you will, did not innovate off of that or spend enough time and energy to understand their customer in that space to gain that loyalty back, they lost that customer. And in a lot of aspects, private labels across lots of industries won because they were able to pivot at a quicker pace and they gained the loyalty.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. Oddly enough, you actually answered the exact question I was going to ask, which is what really separates stagnant
Mhm.
CPG brands from the ones that are growing?
Yeah.
And so I guess kind of the next follow-up question to that is, again, I know it's anecdotal, but are you seeing private label flourish more so, or some of these larger known brands flourish more so? Like, who's kind of winning that race, if you will? Or does it
Yeah.
kind of depend on the specific category too?
I think it's a combination of all of that. I think it's a combination of the specific brand, the category, the private label, because not all private labels are created equally. And so those that are using customer-driven data and are capable to understand, A, not only what the trends are in the industry, but how do you gain that customer, and keep the customer, the retention. I think those are the brands that are winning. And there are a lot of spaces where national brands, most likely because of the complexity of the innovation, they will win out above all else because of just the amount of money that they're able to pour into a specific product. But then there are a lot of product lines where it's pretty easy for a private label to win over that customer.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny being in the industry that we are.
Mhm.
I tell my teams a lot, let's not forget that we are also human,
Right.
right? Because it's so easy sometimes that we just analyze the business element.
Right.
And it's to me, it's still fascinating that we know all the ins and outs, we know all the details, yet we're still human and we still do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we still shop like everyone
Right.
else shops. And
Right.
I find it fascinating for even for myself. There are certain categories, in the CPG
Mhm.
world where I am extremely loyal because I know it's tried,
Yeah.
true, easy. And then there are others where I'm extremely open and I
Yeah.
will always look to experiment.
Yep.
Um, so I love that. I'm curious, is there is there any specific category where you really kind of see where people are branching out more than others, or is it kind of across the board?
It's a good question. I'm I would say in beauty, completely customers are open to new things. And I think the anti-aging and Korean skincare and all of that is going to continuously draw in new consumers because we're always chasing the fountain of youth, if you will. And so I think the beauty space in general is always ripe for innovation and ripe to, convert a consumer over. But then there are, you look at like a category like cereal, where there is nostalgia there that it is painful to try to convert a consumer off of a brand or a product line that they have been like that they've eaten, that their mother or their grandmother, everybody ate in their entire family. Even if maybe the quality has changed, they're still diehard fans. And
Yeah.
so I think it just really depends on the product, the category. Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, I'm going to get into the loyalty,
Mhm.
question for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. So, I'm curious your perspective is when it comes to loyalty, and don't think of it as loyalty programs, anything
Yeah.
like that. Just true loyalty. Is repeat purchase loyalty? In it, like, is that a true definition of loyalty, or is it something more?
I think it's more. I think repeat is a function of loyalty, but repeat purchase is fickle. There are so many aspects that you have to consider. And unless you have years of data by consumer that shows that they are choosing you over everybody else, regardless of what the market is doing, that's the only way that you really know that they are a true loyal consumer, versus a consumer who is going to bat for a brand. They are the UCG. They are giving their own um, testimonial on a product and they are standing for it and they will tell all of their friends and they're vocalizing it and they are your own brand, you know, expert, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's loyalty. And when I think about, HEB and the consumers, they are not only brand loyal, but they are diehard HEB fans. And that's the type of loyalty you want, which is a much larger conversation than just product specific. But it's difficult when the brand is the storefront.
Right.
Yeah.